Hello, maurieos, Moodle Moments number 3. Hello, welcome. Well, Moodle Moments number 3, we're 3 weeks in. So let's go across to the big screen and have a look at our PowerPoint presentation for Moodle Moments 3. And today's quotation comes from my good friend Albert Einstein. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. So says Albert. Alrighty, so let's have a look at the learning outcomes for today's Moodle moment, and in the meantime I'll just turn myself off so that we can see them. Hopefully I'll remember to turn myself back on. On successful completion of this moment, you should have heard about the Ebon House of Forgetting curve, which is coming up, reviewed study tips for engineers, new Moodle site updates, worked out where weekly workshop 3 is, and been reminded about weekly quiz 2, determined what to do before next week, and asked about any problems that you may have. So, moving right along, we come to the Ebon House Forgetting curve. And, here I am, appearing once more. And the Ebon House Forgetting curve. Now, Professor Ebon House did some studies with people in the early year in 1900s with regards to learning. So he gave them quite simple tasks to learn and then checked how much of that information they retained. Now what he found was that after one day, on average, people would have forgotten 20% of their material. And after 2 days, that would be another maybe 30%, and after 3 days 40% of the material would be forgotten. However, if after 1 day you reviewed the material back up to 100%, it then would take 2 days to lose 20%. And if that followed by a further review, then 3 days to lose 20%, and so on. So what he found was that by reviewing the information at regular intervals, you could retain it for longer. Now for students studying, this is a very good outcome, because what it means is by just a little bit of input, reviewing information regularly means that you can keep it in the forefront of your mind for exams and tests and things. Whereas if you don't review, what that means is that when you come to study for tests and things, you've got to spend all that time bringing that information back up and making it current. So constant reviewing of your data, going back and just reviewing and checking, making sure that you've still got it learnt and bringing it to the forefront of your mind, enables it to stay there somewhat longer. And these are the results of the Ebon House Forgetting curve. Very, very important piece of information that will keep your learning current. Now, as I was discussing this with Joseph, he reminded me that during the induction, he had produced a slide, study tips for engineers. Maths isn't a spectator's sport. And what he found, or what he suggested, is very much based on that Ebon House Forgetting curve, or certainly incorporates it, and the information that we have provided in this Moodle course. So he suggests that you practice problems, look at old exams early, which we are doing. All the problems come from the exams. Visualize content, take notes in class, read questions carefully, make sure that you're actually answering the question. Check you've answered the question after you've read it carefully, and list things you don't understand to ask later. And this could be done by reading your notes after class, again, that reviewing before and after. Rewriting the notes was an active way of reviewing your notes and just honing them down to the best possible one. And possibly use a voice recorder. Voice recorder, you say? You've probably all got one on your smartphone or an app that would do a pretty adequate job in that area. So, there's lots of different options and things for you that are available. So, after that introduction, let's go over to Moodle and just get up to date with some things. So here we are at the in-class activities, and there's the Moodle moment there. In terms of assessment, we've got here the weekly worksheets, and we will be handing out weekly worksheet 3 is now available. The answers to weekly worksheet 1 are there and ready to go, and worksheet 2 will be available this week. So you can see a clear pattern is being established around the worksheets. With the quizzes, weekly quiz 1, the blank is there with the answers, and you can see weekly quiz 2 is all ready and waiting in the wings for you to do the test, and then the model answers will be posted. And again, once again, you can review your performance. See how you might change what you could do. Rather than doing the same old thing, do something different, a small and gradual improvement on what you have done. So these are the options there. In the tutorials, just over here, you see the civil tutorial. There's some material available there by way of an introduction and what have you. And also in the electrical tutorial, Joseph has posted some questions and solutions. So once again, you can go to the question, give it a go, see if you can do it with the knowledge you have, and then refer back to the solution, 1 to check how well you've done, or 2 to update your learning in that particular area. So that's more options available there. In the learning area, as I said, we're up to week 3, so there's plenty of information there for you to have a look at. Lots of extra information. This week's theme is exponents and surds. And then the next week after that, logarithms. We'll be having a bit of a look at those as well. So that's the next this week and next week, all there in that under that heading there. Our resources are unchanged at this point. So let's just go home here to the home tab, and by now everybody should be able to access the My Maths Lab Global. There shouldn't be too many problems there. That should all be sorted. If you do have problems, Ken's your man to see. So I think we'll just wrap up this week's Moodle Moments there. Just a bit of an overview and indication of things there, and stressing the importance of review. Review. That is key to your work. And if things didn't quite work out how you planned, change your plans. Think differently. Try something else. See what you could do to get small and gradual improvements in your work, and to get yourself over the line with your mathematics and past and moving on into bigger and better things. All good. Cheers.